When most of the students were preparing number of points, 3 and 4 diagrams, and number of thinkers, she was learning the concept of anomy. She was learning the concept of alienation. When people were going through solved PYQ books, she was trying to solve PYQs on her own. When people were referring random topper copies, she decided to become one.
There is a difference between the knowledge of sociology you know versus how well you're able to implement that same knowledge in an answer. So, this is an example of how I was analyzing my answer sheets. So, I had already written this test, but after I had written the test, I used to go to the model answer. You can also see the solution video, and please write in the columns or in empty spaces whatever you feel you missed while writing. So this is a revision technique I felt worked for me. I had made a WhatsApp group wherein I would just make voice notes of any topic or a question itself. And whenever I used to get bored, because you're just studying, you're writing tests, so take a walk and ये notes सुनते सुनते आपका revision भी हो रहा है. Please focus more on the concept at hand and not on the thinker. My answer writing framework, and I'll take all the questions towards the end. So largely, my answer writing framework consists of these 5 things. First is to understand the demand of the question.
It's my honor to have Ananya with us today. And I'm very, very hopeful that her tips, basic tips on how she wrote the answers, is going to help students not just for this session, but for the upcoming sessions that we will be having in the future as well. I always believe there are two kinds of students. One, those who prepare techniques, okay, and second, those who learn concepts. And there is huge difference between the two. The first set of category who are preparing techniques will think quantitatively. And the second set of students who learn concepts, they think qualitatively. The first set of students think quantity is equal to quality. And the second set of students feel quality gives quantity of marks. Okay. When most of the students were preparing number of points, 3 and 4 diagrams, and number of thinkers, she was learning the concept of anomy. She was learning the concept of alienation. When people were going through solved PYQ books, she was trying to solve PYQs on her own. When people were referring random topper copies, she decided to become one. And there is huge difference between these two approaches. And I hope that with her basic inputs, not advanced, with basic inputs, you will definitely advance. Okay. So Ananya, I hope students will get many lessons from your tips, and I hand over the whole stage to you now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for that warm introduction.
Thank you.
So, everybody is comfortable in Hindi or English? Most of it is going to be in English. So, before I start the session, just 2 points I want to make. This is a strategy I devised for myself and it worked well for me. अगर किसी को लगता है कि आपके पास ऐसा सिमिलर प्लान है जिससे आपको अच्छे मार्क्स आएंगे, so please follow through on that. And secondly, please understand that there is a difference between the knowledge of sociology you know versus how well you're able to implement that same knowledge in an answer. Many of you here, you might be knowing more sociological thinkers, more concepts than me, but how well you're able to actually get it in your answer, such that the evaluator also thinks that this is a good copy, that is what makes the difference. So with this, I will be starting with my answer writing framework, and I'll take all the questions towards the end. So largely, my answer writing framework consists of these 5 things. First is to understand the demand of the question. This is what Nishad sir calls notes versus demand question. So basically, I'll walk you through this. Then is what type of introduction you can write. Third is the use of contextual statement. That is mostly what I did in a 15 marker question to give a good flow to the answer. Fourth is criticism, and fifth is how to conclude your answers. So these were 5 basic components that I used across each question. Now, let's move to the next slide. The first question that many people fail to understand is how to understand the demand of the question. So, what I used to do, firstly, try to identify all the keywords in the question. Then just think कि अगर ये question आएगा तो मैं इसके कितने सब parts बनाऊंगा या बनाऊंगी, so that I can answer the question in a well structured manner. Because at the end of the day, we want that the presentation of the answer should be good. Third is, then you think of what sociological concept, what case study, what thinker you can use here. Then in the fourth component, you can add the criticism wherever it is applicable. And last will be a conclusion. So let's start with the introduction. So there are a few patterns you can follow while introducing an answer. The first one I followed was the simple defining the keyword. So I've tried to have a visual element also so that you can understand what I'm trying to say. So here you see the question is on bureaucracy. That becomes my keyword. I will start by defining it, and you can underline whatever important points you feel. So this is a very basic approach, and what it does is it tells you that this is the limitation you have drawn for yourself. तो इससे इधर उधर नहीं भटकना है. Direct में answer पे आना है. Second approach you can follow is a factual statement. So this factual statement part works well in questions wherein you're dealing with things like poverty, inequality, maybe something on gender. So try to use whatever knowledge you have of your GS very freely in questions like these. So don't try to think that GS is a separate subject and sociology is a separate subject. It is all interlinked. जितना आप यहाँ का वहाँ use कर सकते हो कीजिए. The third type of introduction can be a context-based introduction. So here the context basically means if any question is asked, you know what is the background to that question. For example, we study economic life and work, Unit 6. So there we study Taylor's theory of scientific management. And if you've studied well, you would also know that Elton Mayo's human relations approach is a critique to that. If a question is allowing me to use it, I will use it. Secondly, we have social change, Unit 10. So there we study different models of development. Now you also know that A.G. Frank's theory, which is the dependency theory, development of the underdevelopment, that is a critique to what? Rostow's model of development. If that comes in the question, I will use that. So these are just 3 examples I gave of how you can start your answer. The next part, so the introduction part is done. Now, this is about the contextual statement. So, can I get a know-how of how many of you are enrolled in the crash course and test series? So, sir might also have told you of writing a contextual statement. So, basically, your statement se kya ho raha hai? You are giving a flow to the answer. And you are also focused again on coming back to the demand of the question. So, this is what you can do here. Like here, the question is on stratification and system of stratification. So I could have directly jumped to, let's say, making a table and writing open and closed system of stratification. But just because I wanted to give some sort of flow to the answer, I wrote this contextual statement. So it is basically just a connector जो आपके introduction को body से link कर रहा है. If you have the time and space, you can use it on a 10-marker question. But usually, I could not use it too much in a 10-marker question. But 15 markers, you have plenty of space, so you can use that. So the next component is criticism and conclusion. So now, see, why do we write a criticism? Firstly, if the question itself asks for a criticism, directly write it. If you feel that you can give yourself some extra edge by writing something different, write a criticism. And criticism it is better if you write that of a sociological thinker or a person of authority. Because हम सब पढ़ते हैं, अपनी understanding develop करते हैं, but if it comes from a person who has authority in the subject, let's say if Weber has said something on a concept of Marx, that has greater academic acceptance apart from what you and I think. So try to use thinkers in that way. And then for conclusion part, I usually just used to sum up the argument. I did not prepare any ready-made introductions or conclusions that other people have followed. You can do that. Second part is the other side. So what I mean by the other side is, let's say a question talks about limitations of the positivist method. So we are criticizing the positivist method, but when we come to the end, we can also say that despite its limitation, the positivist method, it contributed to the development of sociology in this way. That is the other side, I mean. When you say synthesis, so you can have questions on comparison of Marx's and Durkheim's theory of religion. So you are comparing it in the body part, but when you come towards the conclusion, you can highlight how both are important in their own aspects. So that is what I meant by conclusion and criticism. So this is basically what my answer writing framework was. Now, a lot of people have asked me how I analyzed my answers. So see, one way is if you're enrolled in any test series, you would get your copies evaluated. Your mentor, whoever is the evaluator, will add some remarks. Please try to implement them also rather than them just being a side word in your answer sheet, because it is meant to improve your marks. Then what I used to do, so this is an example of how I was analyzing my answer sheets. So I had already written this test, but after I had written the test, I used to go to the model answer. You can also see the solution video, and please write in the columns or in empty spaces whatever you feel you missed while writing. Because what happens, we start by revising paper 1 and very slowly we come to paper 2. So we fail to create the interlinkages between the two papers. But once your revision for paper 2 is also done, think of how you can use a concept of paper 2 in paper 1 and similarly of paper 1 in paper 2. So see, this is a question on stratification. So we know Weber describes it by the 3 Ps: power, prestige, and property. So if I wrote something else, this is a mistake I made. I'll try to correct it here. When I am drawing this comparison, so this is a keyword, status quoist, what I could have used here. This is a paper 1 question, but I have written Dipankar Gupta because I know I can draw a linkage with paper 2 here. So I think these are a few ways in which you can analyze your answers after you've written it. This requires extra effort, but then you also get a proportionate reward. So this is the methodology that I followed. Then this is another example of how I used to analyze it. And if you feel something is wrong in your answer writing approach, try to correct it then and there. And when you are revising your answer copies, it becomes very easy because you don't have to look for extra pages. You've already written it on your answer sheet. Now, one more method of analyzing can be this I've discussed earlier also. What you can do is take any good answer copy, any topper's copy, look at the question, just note the question down, write it how you would actually write it in the exam paper. Now you compare it with what the topper has written. In most cases, there would be an overlapping similarity between the two. But wherever you feel that you've gone off track, you know that this is the wrong direction I'm going in. And also look at the copies which are closest to the exam that they have qualified in, because that will show you how close it was to the actual exam that they've written. For my revision technique, so a lot of people have the habit of making smaller notes and then further smaller notes. I felt it was too much effort for me and I would rather put in the time and energy in revising more. So I had my base notes. The sources for my notes, they were basically three. One was the IGNOU material. I did self-study. Second was PYQ research. So जो भी question IGNOU material से नहीं हो रहा है, आप उसको गूगल कर लो या यू हैव मल्टीपल ऑनलाइन रिसोर्सेज, उससे एटलीस्ट हैव सम फॉर्डर कि आप 250 वर्ड्स का आंसर लिख पाओ. एंड थर्ड वाज सप्लीमेंटिंग इट विद whatever the crash course classes I had and the test series. Whatever test series you take, we have to attempt 5 out of 8 questions in every test. And they are designed in such a way that they try to maximize the syllabus coverage. So please pick up good points, keywords, whatever you can take from there also. That also becomes a knowledge material for your notes. So this is a revision technique I felt worked for me. I had made a WhatsApp group wherein I would just make voice notes of any topic or a question itself. So what I used to do, let's say it's dialectical idealism. So I will just explain the concept to myself in simple words using the keywords that I will actually write in the exam. I would maybe just use any example if there's any other dimension to it. So see, there are different meaning of material conditions. What Marx considers material, what Hegel considers material. So according to different thinkers, I had made notes like this. And whenever I used to get bored, because you're just studying, you're writing tests, so take a walk and ये notes सुनते सुनते आपका revision भी हो रहा है. And if you have the ability to vocally talk about a concept, that means you have understood also. Because अगर आपको concept नहीं आएगा, आप अटकोगे जगह पे. So that means there's a lack of revision. So largely, this was my answer writing framework and the revision technique I used to follow. So now, lot of people have also asked me what are the mistakes I did not make. But since this was the only mains I've written, I don't have a very correct answer for that question. So I can tell you what things I actually did, and I think they worked for me. First is writing in simple languages and writing complete sentences. GS में we have a tendency बहुत crisp, एकदम keyword laden, number of points को maximize करके लिखना. But sociology, इसका nature अलग है. It is a humanities subject. So if you write in proper sentences, it's almost like a mini essay. I feel that gives greater acceptance when it comes to marks, because you have to simplify the job of the examiner, of the evaluator as far as possible. आपको ऐसे भी नहीं लिखना है कि आपने कीवर्ड्स और डायग्राम्स बना दिया और आपने एग्जामिनर के ऊपर छोड़ दिया कि आप खुद समझ लीजिए. Your job is to make it as simple for him so that when he or she goes through the copy, they feel that how can I not give this person marks. Secondly is not fixating on the number of points. हर किसी के दिमाग में चलता है कि जीएस में इफ इट्स अ 10 मार्कर क्वेश्चन हम 8 या 10 पॉइंट लिख दे, 15 मार्कर है तो 12-15 पॉइंट्स लिख दे. बट सोशियोलॉजी में नेचर ऑफ द सब्जेक्ट इज डिफरेंट अगेन. If you are able to explain a concept in 4 to 5 well written points with example and staying relevant to the demand of the question, I feel you are able to convey to the examiner that I have understood this concept. I can show you different dimensions of this concept, what other thinkers think of this concept, and that will give you good marks. This is one technique I followed in all my answers. Third is, as I told you before, try to create as many interlinkages across paper 1 and paper 2. See, the syllabus is artificially divided for our simplicity so that we have an order that आपको यहाँ से शुरू करना है and then you go up to this level. Because there are many concepts in paper 2 that you would not understand if you hadn't studied paper 1 before. So it becomes your duty to actually create those interlinkages. For example, gender, kinship, patriarchy, family, these are concepts common across both the papers. So if a question allows me in paper 2, मैं जूडिथ बटलर का जेंडर परफॉर्मेटिविटी कॉन्सेप्ट एज वेल एज मार्गरेट मीड की स्टडी कोड करने में उतनी कंफर्टेबल हूँ जितनी मैं पेपर 1 में उमा चक्रवर्ती की ब्राह्मणिकल पेट्रियार्की कोड करने में हूँ. So try to create these interlinkages, and this will only come with multiple revisions and answer writing practice. The fourth point, I think a lot of you need to be familiar with this. Please focus more on the concept at hand and not on the thinker. Let's just do a very small exercise here. When I say the term cultural capital, किस किस के दिमाग में पियर बोर्डू आया एकदम? I'm seeing at least a few smiles, so I think that is true. But your mind did not go to the actual concept, which is non-financial assets, skills, cultural traits, language, etc., which give you further social mobility. So see, we are not against the thinker, but our understanding is above the thinker. So if you don't understand the concept well, even if you just name drop the thinker, the examiner will feel that this person has written very artificially, कि इसने ऊपर ऊपर से लिख दिया है. So please focus on understanding and internalizing the concept before you try to jump to the thinker. The thinker is a supporting argument to your answer. The thinker is not the core argument. The last point is a lot of people, I think we have multiple resources for paper one. There is almost an abundance of resources for paper one, but for paper two, there is some confusion among people. So see, section A and B, this is more sociology related, especially section A, because aapko Indology, different schools of thoughts, what different thinkers think in section A particularly, you have to understand. Section B also, it is to some extent core sociology. But when it comes to section 3, these are concepts that you have already studied in GS or you know from your general awareness. So please try to use these concepts of GS as far as possible. You do not need to go sociological in each and everything. Like if there is a question on environment, I would expect that you would know what ecofeminists, eco-Marxists, or what Vandana Shiva's argument is about development. But that does not mean you leave your GS knowledge alone. So please try to use your GS knowledge along with what you've studied in sociology for as far as possible. So I think that is largely what I wanted to convey. And now I think we can take questions.
So online students, you can also start posing your questions and we'll take those questions one by one. Anybody from offline? Any sort of question? Hello, ma'am. How to revise GS along with the optional? Kushal and for mains, right? Kushal, you are asking for mains. During mains, how do you revise GS along with optional? Otherwise, question is very broad.
During the time between prelims and mains, I had divided my day 50-50 almost. From 7 a.m. to 2 p.m., I was doing GS. And then from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m., I was doing optional. You have to do both side by side. And once you've done multiple rounds of revision, it becomes easier. So one suggestion I can give before you are writing prelims, that is because nowadays you have to give more time for preparing for prelims also. So till Feb, your optional should be complete and you should do one round of revision as well. Baki, you have to do it together. So if you enroll in any test series, you have a timetable you need to follow because every Saturday or Sunday you will be writing tests. So following a routine, that also helps in keeping a track on revision.
And also, guys, when we compare GS with optional, it becomes a bit difficult. Why? Because uh, sociology in itself is very homogeneous in nature. We know this discipline, 1 and 2. Okay. GS is very heterogeneous. It is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And all 1, 2, 3, 4 have further subsections in each of the GS. So the question GS versus socio is not very well articulated question. It could be GS1 society and socio. How much time do we allocate? GS3, GS2, how do we allocate? So don't do it versus. In fact, allocate time according to your preparation. GS1, this much to this much time, then socio, and then GS2, this much to this much time, then socio. Socio will be constant, basically. And then you can flip across GS subject according to your convenience. Next question is kindly give framework, ma'am, for note making, which is handy for multiple revisions. Framework for note making.
So see, first of all, you need to be familiar with the PYQs. For paper one, you see there is a very high degree of repetition in questions. And the questions usually will be, what is this concept? Maybe what are the factors that influenced it? If there is some similarity or difference with a similar concept, like we have anomy and alienation. So you can expect a question on comparison and contrast. A comparison and contrast means you need to know both the similarities as well as the differences. Then another dimension can be what is the contemporary relevance of this concept. So say contemporary relevance of historical materialism. So these are things that you can use the internet for. If you can think it on your own, very good. But otherwise, you can use the internet and you will come up with 2-3 points for all the concepts. So I would suggest doing that. And lastly, You just need to have criticisms for different topics. And criticisms, as I told you, if the functional school has said something, then you will have the critical school thinkers who have said something against it. You will have the feminists who have an argument against it. So आप ऐसे करके criticisms भी कर सकते हैं. And for introduction and conclusion, I did not follow a set template. I just showed you the types of introductions I used to write. So in this way, if you prepare your notes, you will see that there are only 4-5 dimensions for every topic. I remember I analyzed recently the questions of historical materialism. First of all, again, it is what is it? What is its contemporary relevance? How is it different from Hegel's materialism? So these are just 4-5 dimensions which keep on coming across the years. So there is a high degree of repetition. Similarly, for paper 2, you see the study of Kurg that remains same whether you give the exam today or 5 years from now. The concept remains same. बाकी जो examples है, so examples again you can take from the newspaper as well. So newspaper you can integrate into sociology by this way. You don't need to make any separate notes for that. This I can tell you right here. जो हम society में examples use करते हैं, that is also being picked up from some sociological concept. So try to make your examples in this way. And I think if you follow this method for making notes, revision becomes easy. Because ultimately, it does not matter आपने 10,000 words पढ़े for a concept, 50,000 words, or even 1 lakh words, because you have to develop the ability to condense it into 250 words while covering all the dimensions of the answer and while giving a proper structure and flow to the answer so that you get rewarded. So that was my motto, that make it as simple as possible.
What was your approach while writing the answer, or either in the form of passage form or pointer?
So if you see from my answer writing, if you see from my copies also, it's a mix of both. You see, I'll start by writing a paragraph because the introduction ideally is going to be in a paragraph. Then if you have some contextual statement, you can add that. For the sub part, it's better if you write in points because I think somewhere subconsciously we also count कि कितने points लिख दिए हैं. And then there's also this tendency that आपने 3-4 points लिख दिए तो आपने core content तो cover कर लिया. So you can use a mix of paragraphs as well as points, whatever suits you. So you need to develop your answer writing skill because you will know that are you comfortable with writing more easily in points or in paragraphs?
How did you prepare current affairs substantiation, the field talk about society? So did you let someone mention data point or something?
So, okay, so you've taken suicide rate and how to link it to current affairs. So first of all, you can have the NCRB data that can be used. So it's newspaper and government reports. So there's you can use this for GS also. There is this you have PIB and PIB comes up with its explainers. So basically they'll give you all the information, the background, the factors, government schemes, everything in one comprehensive document. You can use that both in GS and in sociology. In sociology, I would first, again, I'm reiterating, focus more on the concept. After 90% of that is done, that 10% is just the cherry on top. So don't think that if you keep on adding data in sociology, your answers will become more likable. Focus on the concept and then you can add these current affairs wherever you feel they are right.
And also, even in academics, what we have learned is that in university, data is good, data is important. But it is much more important for economists. Okay. Sociologists, they rely on data, definitely. But for them, data is just supporting their argument. Their argument is more important than the data, although their argument has come from the data, but then data takes a backseat for them. Argument becomes the hero. But for economists, argument is something supporting the data. Data is the hero for them. तो ये एक division of labor है social sciences में. Sociology is more of qualitative in nature. Economics is more of quantitative. ओके सो इसलिए डेटा को ज्यादा प्रेशर मत लेना, इसलिए भी मत लेना क्योंकि एनीवे यू विल बी लर्निंग डेटा फॉर जीएस एंड दैट विल बी हेल्पिंग यू अनकॉन्शियसली.
Hello, sir. Hello, ma'am. We are often said that we have to link paper one with paper two, but we are not told how it should actually be done. Like कभी हमने कोई thinker particularly पढ़ा, so there is always a context behind that thinker. In what context he has said it. For example, ma'am said cultural capital, which is said by Pierre Bourdieu. बट अगर उसको किसी पेपर में लिंक करना हो और उसका कॉन्टेक्स्ट से वो आउट होके और मैंने वो जस्ट पढ़ा हुआ है वो वर्ड और उसको वहां पे मेंशन कर दिया, देन इट वुड बी रॉन्ग. सो व्हाट इज द करेक्ट वे ऑफ मेकिंग लिंकेजेस बिटवीन द पेपर्स एंड व्हाइल रीडिंग नोट्स ऑफ अदर्स ऑल्सो? वहां पे कोई भी थिंकर पर्टिकुलरली लिखा होता है, उसका एक कॉन्टेक्स्ट नहीं पता होता. वी जस्ट नो द स्टेटमेंट टोल्ड बाय दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंकर, बट हाउ टू यूज दैट इन द पर्टिकुलर आंसर और मेक लिंकेजेस विद दैट?
See, firstly, अगर वो context में नहीं बैठ रहा है, then what is the use of writing that thinker? Don't write
वही
the
मैं पूछ
thinker.
रहा हूँ कि पर्टिकुलरली अगर वो थिंकर जैसे कोई वर्ड मैच कर गया और हमें लग रहा है कि उसका वो कॉन्टेक्स्ट मैच कर रहा है या नहीं कर रहा, तो हाउ टू एक्चुअली फिट दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंकर? अगर क्या पता वो मैच कर भी रहा उस पर्टिकुलर सवाल की डिमांड से, बट हमें एग्जैक्टली पता नहीं चल पा रहा है.
फिट
See,
करना ही क्यों है? सवाल ये है, फिट करना क्यों, जुगाड़ क्यों करना है? फिट मतलब जुगाड़, है ना?
सर बेसिकली माय फर्स्ट एंड प्राइमरी क्वेश्चन वाज हाउ
हम्म।
टू मेक लिंकेजेस बिटवीन पेपर वन एंड पेपर टू, कि पर्टिकुलर कोई थिंकर है उमा चक्रवर्ती, नीरा चंदोक, और उसको पेपर वन में डालना है, तो एग्जैक्टली कहाँ पे लगा सकते हैं? या तो मैं नोट्स पढ़ लूँ तो वहां पे लिखा हुआ रहेगा तो मुझे पता चल जाएगा, या फिर अगर मुझे खुद करना है तो इसका अंडरस्टैंडिंग बिल्ड करने के लिए क्या तरीका है, क्या फ्रेमवर्क है, या फिर?
so from my experience, I can tell you, go after the concept first, and you have to put in effort to revise it multiple times. If, like I told you about patriarchy and those concepts, now if you have not studied paper one properly, how can you think of linking it to a concept in paper two? Similarly, you need to revise it multiple times and write it. That is one of the first points I made, the knowledge you have versus how well you're able to translate it into writing. So that is a conscious effort you have to make. And I am not of the opinion of following somebody else's note, because notes, they are the filtered understanding of a person. वो notes सिर्फ आपको ही समझ आएंगे अगर आपने लिखे हैं. Even if I share my notes, most of you won't be able to understand because it is my understanding I have put in a paper and pen. So my suggestion would be, please focus on conceptual clarity and please use your own notes. And even from a topper's copy, suppose you see some new concept, so it becomes your duty to actually search more on that concept before you use it in an answer. You don't know in what context they have written it. If you simply try to copy it, and if their answer is wrong, you are also ending up making a mistake. So use your discernment for this.
बिल्कुल सही बात है। अनन्या ने जो भी कहा है एकदम टू दी पॉइंट ही है। आप नोट्स जब भी किसी टॉपर के देखोगे तो आपको फिल्टर्ड अंडरस्टैंडिंग दिखती है, उनकी स्टेटमेंट दिखता है या कुछ वर्ड्स दिखते हैं, बट एसेंस नहीं समझ आता है। ओके, और एक अनकॉन्शियसली हमारे दिमाग में आ जाता है क्योंकि टॉपर के नोट से तो सही ही होगा और लिख ही लेते हैं, ठीक है, सोचना क्या। बट सोचना क्या में ही गलत हो गए हम, ठीक है, क्योंकि कुछ लोग सोच रहे हैं, कुछ ही लोग सोच रहे हैं, मैक्सिमम लोग नहीं सोच रहे। अब बात जो है कि उसका करना क्या है, बस आप ये मान के चलो, you don't have to take pressure to write exactly that word which you have read from topper notes, but you have to develop understanding around that word. Even for that, if you have to take help of Google or Chat GPT or any teacher, but वो understanding develop करनी है। Okay, for example, अगर मुझको किसी के नोट्स में कोई कॉन्सेप्ट दिखता है जिसको हम बोल सकते हैं, सपोज कर लेते हैं ट्रिपल शिफ्ट, ओके, या ट्रिपल बर्डन, और आगे आर्ली हॉकशाइल्ड लिखा हुआ है। ओके, अब मेरे लिए ये नेम और ये कॉन्सेप्ट का नेम से ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है इसका मतलब क्या होता है, व्हाट इज ट्रिपल शिफ्ट। ओके, एक बार मैं वो समझ जाऊं तो उसके बाद मेरे लिए आर्ली हॉकशाइल्ड बैक सीट ले लेगी, मेरे लिए वो कॉन्सेप्ट हीरो है। ओके, अब उसको यूज कहाँ करना है, जहां जरूरत समझ आएगी वहीं। अब कार्ल मार्क्स से हिस्टोरिकल मटेरियलिज्म में तो मैं थ्री शिफ्ट नहीं लिखने वाला, ठीक है, अगर लिखूंगा तो वो दोस्त को कहने के लिए हो गया कि मैंने तीन थिंकर लिखे, लेकिन उसका सेंस नहीं वहां बना। ओके, लेकिन क्वेश्चन अगर ऐसा है, पेट्रियार्की पे क्वेश्चन आ गया है कि डिस्पाइट रिफॉर्म्स, डिस्पाइट वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट, we still see patriarchy in latent forms or hidden forms. How? अब इसमें भी फिर हमको बह नहीं जाना, इसमें पहले पेट्रियार्की को डिफाइन करना ही पड़ेगा। पेट्रियार्की ये होती है और माना जाता था विद वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट, वो धीरे धीरे सबसाइड हो जाएगी। हाउएवर आज भी वो हमें कई फॉर्म्स में दिखती है, जैसे कि अब फिर ट्रिपल शिफ्ट। तो ट्रिपल शिफ्ट अब प्लेस हुआ, ठीक है, और फिर ट्रिपल शिफ्ट क्या होता है, वो लिखना है सेंटेंस बनाकर, है ना, और लास्ट में हॉकशाइल्ड का नाम आया याद तो ठीक, नहीं आया कोई बात नहीं, ठीक है, फिर नेक्स्ट पॉइंट पे जाना है। तो कहने का मतलब ये है उसको प्लेस करना है, ड्रॉप नहीं। और वो कैसे होगा? with more and more answer writing on your own, not with just checking somebody else's answers. जितना चेक करेंगे उतना प्रेशर लेंगे, जितना लिखेंगे उतना प्रेशर रिलीज होगा, और पता चलेगा लिमिटेशन होती है 7 मिनट्स में।
Just one point, sir.
Yes.
Right now, you were talking about making linkages. So when I heard patriarchy, suppose I have to link it to Marx, तो मेरे दिमाग में concept क्या आएगा? Reserve army, industrial reserve army. That has undertones in patriarchy. But how was I able to draw this conclusion? By multiple revisions.
My first question is regarding what you said about analyzing PYQs. Like, this is my final attempt, but first time I'm studying sociology, and I'm doing it via his crash course, via the crash course only. So after going back, after attending the class, I go back, I go through the PYQs, and I figure out whatever topics are not covered in the class. I try to cover it from other sources, like you suggested, IGNOU. So how much depth should I go for in while covering the topics which are not covered in the class, and how to figure out till what depth should I limit myself?
Okay. So see, you would be given the previous year compilation. You will see that there are some topics which have a lot of questions, some topics which have very few questions. For example, nowadays the focus is more on unit 1, 2, and 3 in paper 1, but people still give a lot of time to thinkers. So I would say that is a disproportionate time you are giving to thinkers as compared to paper unit 1, 2, and 3, where you will score more marks. So see the number of questions that are being asked. Then again, try to see the pattern in all the questions that are asked. There is going to be some similarity. So the note-making framework I told you, what factors, examples, criticism, these are things that are going to remain common across all topics, contemporary relevance. So you have to pick up only few points for every topic. Because again, हमको लिखना 250 words में, that is our foundation. So you need to focus on the concept, plus since it's an optional paper, there needs to be some depth also. You can't just write superficially or, name dropping. Because if you don't understand the concept, you won't be able to write it well. So try to develop this and just practice answer writing.
My second question is, as in, on a practical basis, how much is the linkage between sociology as an optional and the society part of GS1 or the social justice part of GS2? Like, how much can I expect that the sociology as an optional will help me in that part, that side?
That's a good question. So see, one of the reasons we take sociology is because we think there is going to be some payoff in GS papers. That is true to an extent, but it depends on how smartly you use it. If you were to use concepts like industrial reserve army in society paper 1, if the evaluator is not able to understand, why would he reward you marks? So there has to be somewhere you draw the line that these are some commonsensical topics: feminization, glass ceiling, dink, because these have become basically unit 3 common sense. They're sociological concepts which have become common sense for us. So you can use very freely. But when it is core sociological concepts that you study for optional, I would not use that.
No, like I get the point.
Mhm.
We should not use hardcore sociology specific topics.
Yeah.
But my point was, from a practical point of view, how much does sociology help in society? Like, as in when covering society as a topic for GS1, how much help will this provide us? Like, I'm unable to frame it properly, but I
See,
think
okay, I get your point. In my understanding, I did not study separately for society. That's all I can say. So you study sociology, you have enough points, and also supplement it with newspaper. I am sure at least for some time you might go through YouTube or other social media. You are seeing things happening there also. And sociology is such a wide domain कि जो भी society में हो रहा है, you can actually write it in your answers. So don't limit yourself to just what you've read. Try to use it wherever you can. And just see that you have enough material. You are able to write all the PYQs. If you feel this is a very unique question, so I would Google that a little bit. But there is good part of overlapping.
my last question, please. Regarding like a bit separate point, as in regarding GS answer writing, what was the approach you used, as in for like for sociology we discussed, focus on clear sentence formation and all those things. What was your approach for GS answer writing?
So in GS, the approach changes. यहाँ पे you will see the answers are very verbose, big sentences, well explained. GS, I would try to stick to the point, no contextual statement, straight away come to the subheading, use data, committee recommendations, whatever the so-called value addition we use here, try to use that. So the approach changes. There I would focus more on the number of points and how well I am able to break down the question into different parts, because there are two types of questions, open-ended. In open-ended, you have to think of yourself कि मुझको कितने subheadings बनाने हैं इसमें, कितने dimensions देने हैं. Close-ended है, so you already know that if it's a 10 marker, 2 or 3 subheads maximum. Again, in 15 markers, you know that exactly. So it's point versus paragraph and lengthy, detailed description in sociology. And GS में it's maximizing the content with number of points also.
Thank you.
But this time I have some knowledge about the subject. So for 2027 mains, what should I do now? Like I'm preparing short notes for sociology, but I'm not able to like how to proceed further for 2027 mains if I'm writing.
So see, have you covered a good portion of the syllabus?
Like I've covered one time, paper 1 and paper 2.
Okay. So I would start by writing the PYQs. If you feel अभी पूरा आंसर नहीं लिख पा रहे हो, what you can do is just brainstorm the PYQ. For example, if there is any question, think of what introduction you will write, how many subheadings you will create, what all points will you write. You will think of 4-5 points. Think of what example you can use. Is there some sociological point of view of a thinker you can use, any study they have done? Then think of criticisms. Is there some criticism I can write here? And think of how you would conclude that. If you can do this exercise for multiple questions or multiple topics, you will gain that confidence that I can write 250 words answer. And then start by writing a full length test. If you feel that there is somewhere you are going wrong, I would suggest take the help of a mentor, because time is the currency in this exam and we would want to maximize on the time.
And for these 5 months, like I should prepare on my own or I should take help.
I think that's up to you, how you feel you can do better. That's something you have to choose for yourself.
Can I show you my notes if I'm going right or wrong? Please.
I think academic queries are better directed to sir.
सी अच्छा क्वेश्चन आपका है. आपका नाम क्या है?
शीतल मीना.
शीतल. शीतल का बड़ा अच्छा क्वेश्चन है, और एक ये ऐसा क्वेश्चन है जो कई बच्चे जानना और पूछते भी हैं कि सर क्या हम नोट्स आपको दिखाना चाहते हैं, एक बार नोट्स देख लीजिए. ओके. या फिर किसी टॉपर को भी नोट्स दिखाना होता है ना. मैं आपको एकदम ऑनेस्टली जवाब दूंगा इसका. ठीक है. नोट्स सबके अच्छे होते हैं. नोट्स सभी के अच्छे होते हैं. अंडरस्टैंडिंग सिर्फ कुछ ही लोगों की अच्छी है ना. सबके नोट्स में कार्ल मार्क्स लिखा होगा, मानते हो ना. सबके नोट्स में मैक्स वेबर लिखा होगा, ये मानते हो ना. सबके नोट्स में पार्सन्स लिखा होगा, ये भी मानते हो। बट सोशल सिस्टम कितनों को पता है क्या होता है? सोशल सिस्टम भी सबके नोट्स में लिखा होगा। आप समझ रहे हो ना? यानी कि नोट्स तो सबके पास है। जो लोग सीपी में घूमने गए शॉपिंग करने, उनके पास भी आ जाएंगे, सिर्फ फॉरवर्ड करते ही उनको, सिर्फ एक फॉरवर्ड में उनके पास नोट्स आ जाएंगे। आप समझ रहे हो? मैं एकदम एकदम प्रैक्टिकल बता रहा हूँ आपको। मैं अपने दोस्त को बोलूंगा नोट्स दे दे, मेरे पास भी आ गए नोट्स। अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऐसे फॉरवर्ड हो सकती है व्हाट्सएप पे। अंडरस्टैंडिंग के लिए आपको योग करना पड़ता है, ठीक है, ध्यान, और आपको आइसोलेट होना पड़ता है, और मानना पड़ जाता है कि यार 7 मिनट 12 मिनट है हमारे पास आंसर लिखने के लिए, तो अंडरस्टैंडिंग हमारी कुछ रखनी पड़ेगी, क्योंकि वी कांट रेक्टिफाई एवरीथिंग, इवेंचुअली वी विल हैव टू मग अप, बट फर्स्ट इज अंडरस्टैंडिंग, राइट? तो नोट्स सबके अच्छे हैं, ठीक है। किसी को भी आप नोट्स दिखाओगे, वो एट मैक्स आपको क्या बोलेंगे? अच्छे हैं, 2-3 थिंकर और डाल देना, बस ऐसा होगा। लोगों का रिव्यू ये होगा, ओके। वो हेल्प नहीं करने वाला आपको लॉन्ग रन में। तो ये चीज आपको ध्यान रखनी है, ठीक है।
हेलो मैम, हेलो सर। मैं एक्चुअली जैसे मैं अभी फर्स्ट टाइम ही पढ़ रहा हूँ, ऐसे मैं वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल हूँ, तो साथ में मैनेज कर रहा हूँ। तो अब फर्स्ट टाइम रीडिंग में जैसे अभी मैंने पेपर 1 70-80% कंप्लीट किया है। अब उसमें बेसिक मतलब मुझे जो इशू आ रहा है इसमें, जैसे कि मैंने राजीव भार्गव भी पढ़ा सेकुलरिज्म में, कि उसका रिलीजन पे ये थॉट है और ऐसे वो स्टेट से उसको डिस्टिंक्ट कर रहे हैं, और वहीं पे फिर डरखाइन रिलीजन को ऐसे कंसिडर कर रहे हैं कि सेक्रेड जगह जैसे कोई भी स्टैंड या फिर स्पेस उसको लेकर रहे हैं। तो अब मैं एट द एंड दोनों को पढ़ने के बाद ये होता है कि आखिरकार कहना क्या चाहते हैं दोनों, और मतलब क्या मतलब कि कैसे मतलब अप्रोच करूं। फिर मैं पीवाईक्यू भी देखा कि हाँ कैसे क्वेश्चंस आ रहे हैं, तो उस समय तो पीवाईक्यू देख के लगता है कि ठीक है चलो क्या कहना चाह रहे हैं समझ आ रहा है, बट मैं एट द एंड फिर सब कुछ बंद होने के बाद बिल्कुल क्लियर होता है कि हाँ दोनों को रिलेट करके आंसर में कैसे अप्रोच करूं। और मतलब ये हो सकता है मेरे लिए कि मेरा फर्स्ट टाइम मैं पढ़ रहा हूँ तो ये इशू आ रहा है, हो सकता है कि आगे, बट क्योंकि शॉर्ट टाइम मेरे पास रहता है तो इसको कैसे फिर शॉर्ट टाइम ड्यूरेशन में इफेक्टिव में ले जा सकता हूँ।
तो मतलब बताना मैंने सही समझा आपका क्वेश्चन की नहीं? आप बहुत अलग अलग पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू पढ़ रहे हो हर कॉन्सेप्ट के लिए, तो उसमें से उसको सिंथेसाइज कैसे करें, ठीक है? तो वो क्वेश्चन पे डिपेंड करता है। जैसे डर्कहाइम्स थ्योरी ऑफ रिलीजन, दैट इज गिविंग द फंक्शनल पर्सपेक्टिव। अगर क्वेश्चन में स्ट्रेट अवे लिखा हुआ है कि डिस्क्राइब द फंक्शनल पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ रिलीजन, देन आई विल राइट डर्कहाइम, ठीक है। बट इफ आई वांट टू यूज, लाइक फॉर डर्कहाइम रिलीजन, द एस्पेक्ट हैज टू हैव समथिंग सेक्रेड, one of the components is that. If I have to use Rajiv Bhargav's secular religion, right? Secularization of religion, that concept. So I can show that from the writings of Durkheim, in the modern age, we are entering secular religion. Or there's also one concept of civic religion. I am forgetting the thinker. So this is how you can link them. Baki, see, the answer to most questions is going to be practice and revision. And start writing, because I have seen a lot of people have inertia with writing. You will keep on delaying writing. You will think मैं ये material भी add कर लूँ, ये भी add कर लूँ. But ultimately आप लिखने को छोड़ देते हो. And this exam is a writing paper. So please start writing, because what happens is your first answer will not be that good, but it will be an improvement. But your fifth answer will be an improvement over your first answer. Your 10th answer is going to be an improvement over your fifth answer. Writing is a skill you need to develop, and skill takes time and practice.
थैंक यू सो मच।
एक क्वेश्चन और ले लेते हैं ना ऑफलाइन में, देन 1-2 क्वेश्चन ऑनलाइन के कर लेंगे। हाँ
Good
जी।
afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. Ma'am, may I know how did you plan your revision during those 5 days before the exam between GS and sociology? I know it's a little different, but how did you plan your strategy for those 5 days?
Okay. So, from my experience, you cannot study all of those 5 days, because you are exhausted after you've written all those papers. So one day you will take a break, at least in my experience. It depends on what you will do for yourself. In my case, I actually wrote one full-length test for paper 2, because I felt I was little underconfident in paper 2 compared to paper 1. So for me, writing is a good way to boost my confidence. I used to write at that time. And then the voice notes that I showed you, I will listen to them, I will revise that. Baki, it depends on person to person. If you think that maybe just going through your own notes, brainstorming PYQs, that is what is giving you confidence, do that. Because what you need during those few days, you need to have the confidence that suppose even if some GS paper has gone slightly below expectation, आप उसको optional में cover कर लो.
Thank you.
Okay, so online students will take 2 questions more, okay? I think most of the questions have been answered. Most of the questions I think would be common to both online and offline. Chandrashish Prasad. Earlier mindset that around answer writing, point should click in mind when I see the question. But now with Crash Course, feel that I know the answer, start with intro, then it builds as we write. Your take on this, ma'am, for both GS and Socio, how to have balanced mindset and feel confident that I can do it in time. An idea of your time allocation to writing an answer when you see the question. Single point in 8-9 line, including the example, is fine. Your take on the first one, that the earlier mindset was about points and then starting with intro today with.
I think if I were you, I would be going in the right direction because you are actually thinking how to give flow and structure to the answer. So if you think of the versus the points, the content part with conceptual clarity, that will be better. Coming on the second one, how to have a balanced mindset and feel confident for both GS and Socio.
Yeah, because in GS, that point format is going on in mind, and for Socio, the flow.
See, again, this is becoming repetitive, but it is practice. You need to practice for GS also, you need to practice for Socio also. And when you do it multiple times, automatically you come to know that if I write in point format in sociology, perhaps I would not get the marks I would have gotten if I had written in detail. So again, it's an exercise of confidence and practice.
And I also say that, see, in essay, you are not going to dump points. You know this very well. No diagram will help you. No number of thinkers, no number of points. In essay, you automatically switch to a mode of writing which is very, very different from what you are habituated to in GS. So that means you are the people who are smart enough to make a switch from that flow to points and then come back to flow in optional and then again maintaining the flow in interview. So that means this mindset of dropping is helpful only in GS 1, 2, 3, not even in 4. Only 1, 2, 3. Okay. पर वो 1, 2, 3 इतना डोमिनेट कर गया माइंड पे कि हम उसको सब कुछ समझने लग गए. 4, 5, 6 भी उसी को समझने लग गए. वो नहीं है ना. तो वो प्रैक्टिस करनी पड़ेगी, जैसा अनन्या ने आपको बोला, वो प्रैक्टिस ही होगा. टेस्ट सीरीज के थ्रू आपकी वो साइकिल बनेगी, हैबिट बनेगी कि कैसे आप शिफ्ट कर रहे हो. ओके. एंड idea of time allocation to writing an answer when you see the question. Yeah.
So for time management, I have my brother to thank. See, my strategy for basically this whole exam, as the mains part, has been very simple. You have your core content, keep on revising it, keep on writing test, and implement the feedback that is being given to you. I did not write a test in 3 hours. I used to give myself 2 hours 45 minutes. The first test I wrote, I was able to write only 18 questions. That too, the quality of 1 or 2 answers was very poor. But at least I had a benchmark कि मुझको 18 से 20 तक जाना है. That too, I need good to average answers. So please practice under time. Across this period from prelims to mains, I had written 30 to 35 FLTs in GS and sociology, including both. So my funda was very simple. This was the thing. So for time allocation, I'd seen an earlier question also. When you get the question paper, we already know that 2 questions are compulsory. We have to write it. I would straight away start writing them. Otherwise, what you can do when you have some time before the bell actually rings and you have to start writing, choose what questions you will be answering. That makes it easy. So I think that was the point. And this another question from the same person is a single point in 8 to 9 lines, including the example, fine. So this would be wrong in my opinion, because it shows that you do not have the brevity. आपको concise way में लिखना है, and you have to cover different dimensions. If you give so much space to just one point, I think that means you need to refine your answer writing skills.
Yeah, exactly. Because 8-9 lines for single point is too much. At max 4-5 lines can be there, right? Okay, last question ले लेते हैं randomly. Shashwat. So I did my optional but not revise and not have good understanding of concept. So the crash course will work or something else. Well, Shashwat, in crash course we are focusing on definitely clarity of concept and also answer writing. So in case if you have not revised and you don't have good understanding, you may definitely join it. Okay. But remember, here we are also doing answer writing. It's not just about building understanding. And to condense the same understanding in 8 minutes and 12 minutes is something that gradually become part of your answer writing in general. Okay guys, अच्छा ये लास्ट क्वेश्चन एक ले लेते हैं तरुण का. मैम, योर व्यूज ऑन नितिन सांगवान, रिट्जर, हार्लम्बस, इग्नू, बीए एंड एमबे. जो भी आपका व्यू है आप बता सकते हैं.
So, see, I have very clearly stated I followed IGNOU notes as far as the syllabus was concerned. कुछ जो उसमें नहीं cover हुआ but PYQ में आया है, do your Google research. Then whatever I had learned from crash course, and if there were any gaps, from the test series model answers. I did not refer to what is actually in the market and people actually refer to it, because they are also the notes of somebody. If you can understand it, well and good, but I don't think they give you the conceptual clarity. Then again, you will just be copying them and pasting in your answer. But that is not what is required here. When it comes to reference books, you can use them. For example, especially Harlambus, it has some good case studies. But that is the value addition you will do जब आपकी conceptual clarity बन चुकी है. So first focus on your cake, then you do the icing, which is these reference books.
क्वेश्चन है मैम, इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग, आपने बीए इकोनॉमिक्स किया ना दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी से, तो आपने उस टाइम से पढ़ना स्टार्ट किया था या ग्रेजुएशन के बाद पढ़ना स्टार्ट किया था?
नहीं, after graduation.
तो 2022 से?
Yes.
तो क्लासेस वगैरह ज्वाइन किए थे जीएस?
नहीं, I did not take any foundation course.
बच्चों को ना ये रहता है कि टॉपर्स पहले से कर रहे होते हैं लेकिन बताते हैं कि हमने बाद में किया. तो इसको शायद वो क्लैरिटी चाहिए होगी. देखो ऐसा होता है, पता है, ये फैक्ट है, हमारे दिमाग में रह जाएगा कि नहीं वो तो चलो बोल दिया बट तैयारी पहले से ही कर रहे होंगे. ठीक है. ऐसा नहीं है.
Enjoy your college life
बिल्कुल.
also, because when you'll come to personality test, your personality is not built within these 2-3 months or when you start preparing for the exam. वो आपकी बचपन से ही build हो रही है from your school days. In college, be part of different fests, different societies, get to experience all that while you keep on studying. You need to insulate yourself while you're preparing. You don't need to isolate yourself from everything.
बिल्कुल सही बात है. ठीक है. So with these words, we thank all of you guys for attending the session, and I hope कि अनन्या की टिप्स आप लोग इम्प्लीमेंट करेंगे, है ना. एंड चैलेंज सिर्फ लर्न करना नहीं है, चैलेंज इम्प्लीमेंट करना है. मेनली तो इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में ही चैलेंज लाई करता है. एंड द सूनर यू बिगिन implementing it, sooner you realize the issues in implementation. That will become another lesson for you, है ना. Thank you Ananya so much
Thank
for
you, sir.
taking time out.
Thank you so much, sir,
Thank
and
you.
all the best to everyone.